Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy Free Comic Book Day, finally. Feels like it's been a very long wait for a Free Comic Book Day, but it is finally here, and got a few from my local shop, and oh my god, Half Price Books, they had a deal, so we'll get into that in a second, but I figured since I got so many books, I'm just going to go and dive right in, so local shop pickups for the week. Went ahead and got the Young Guns variant for Avengers #1. Hopefully, a good start to a Jason Aaron run. Who doesn't love some Jason Aaron? So, like I said, I haven't been into too many Marvel books except for Thanos lately, but I have high hopes for this one, so I'm hoping this rejuvenates some of my hope for Marvel. I had to get DC Nation #0 for quarter, so I just coughed up the quarter instead of getting it for free on Wednesday, like my shop was promoting. I was like, quarter. I had one on my dashboard, so here it is. Next up, had to check out Rick Remender's new book, Death or Glory. So, big Rick Remender fan. So, saw this still sitting on the shelf, luckily. Forgot to pre-order it on my Midtown run. So, very glad I got this. And then for my comics, basically, the local shop over here was just, they limited it to 3 free comics per person, which is absolutely respectable. You know, I had to work all morning and most of the day. So I was rolled out about 5:30, and you know they pretty much had everything to choose from. So I definitely can't complain about there being limits and that stuff. So first one, I didn't even know this was a thing today, but I guess it's called Barrier, new Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin book. If I knew this was out today, I probably would have tried to go on my lunch break just to make sure I got a copy of this. So I was absolutely happy to see that, you know, Image put out a nice, awesome new book. So I'll definitely be reading this tonight because I'm a huge Brian K. Vaughan fan, and you know Marcos Martin's really awesome too. So like I said, this went way under my radar somehow. So glad I saw that. Picked up the Avengers new comic book day version. I guess as a Captain America backstory too, or a flip cover maybe, something like that. So we'll see what that's all about. And didn't know there was an Overwatch comic coming out. So right here is my Jin Bartel Overwatch print, and so obviously pretty big fan of Overwatch. So saw that comic sitting there, picked this as my third. I figured why not. It was a toss up between this and Power Rangers for me. I might go see if they got Power Rangers in a couple days, maybe even tomorrow. I have tomorrow off. Yay! So maybe they'll give me that if they got more copies backed up. So happy that Overwatch is. I've always kind of said over the last, I guess it's been 2 years since that game came out. I always thought Overwatch would be a great comic book or, cartoon series or something like that. I figured, the characters in the game are so good, yet, being a video game, it's kind of like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, those fighting games. They have such good characters, but no one's really explored them. Well, at least at the time when those games came out. Obviously, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter had their cartoons and movies by now. But anyway, I'll stop rambling and get into this Half Price Books haul. So they had a deal, Half Price Books. They didn't have free comics. Well, actually they did. They didn't get the free comic book day books, but they had free comics. So with purchase, they had like an old variety of old free comic book day books somehow. So flipping through it, they gave me Suicide Squad #1, the free comic book day version. Figured, I don't have this, so why not get the free comic book day version of it? But anyway, all these were 50 cents a piece. Basically, their deal is anything they have comic book wise, it's half off. So most everything they have to begin with is $1. They just price it $1. Don't really think about it. Those of you who watched my previous video about Sandman #1 kind of knows the score hopefully at this point. So basically, they get a book in, 9 times out of 10 they're going to put a $1 price tag on it. So combine that with a half off sale, 50 cents. So and a lot of this was just run filler, I'll be honest. So I think a third of this is just Wolverine books. So I've been collecting Wolverine Volume 2 for quite a long time through 50-cent and dollar bins. So here's number 77. And I just loved, the artists they got on these books, like halfway through the, probably like from 40 to 100, is just awesome. So I absolutely love Adam Kubert. So there's an Adam Kubert cover. I think this is Mark Texeira on number 68. Number 66. Another text cover, 65. 64. 63. 61. Always like the team-ups between him and Jubilee. Awesome Mark Silvestri cover on 57. I always just like the colors Mark Silvestri uses in that type of stuff. So, or whoever his colorist is, I guess I should say. But absolutely awesome there. 54. 53. I guess Mojo's beating Wolverine up. That's actually pretty funny. 47. 42. And I think actually, yeah, this is the last one I picked up. I had some in the 20s, but for some reason, my stack was really big at that point, so I just kind of left them in there because I do see those other ones often. But yeah, so nice to have some run fillers done for that Wolverine run. So who doesn't love Wolverine? Let's face it. I found a couple Silver Surfers in there. Unfortunately, they didn't have, I think 44 is the money book in this little run here because it was around the Infinity War era, but here's number 42. And it's pretty cool because I think, yeah, Ron Lim did these books, I believe, and then 47. It's a nice 90s Drax the Destroyer team-up action there. So, ever since, Infinity War last week and reading the Infinity Trilogy, I've been kind of craving some of these Ron Lim Silver Surfers, so that was pretty awesome. Next up, I don't know what happened to this bag, but the comic's fine. Superman American Alien #1. I actually have this in hardcover form over there on that side of the room. But this is actually a pretty solid read. Sorry for the glare. It's a dark cover there. And like I said, this bag sucks. I don't know why they even reused this. But it's Max Landis Anthology Superman series, basically. I think it went 8 parts, so each part's kind of its own artist and storytelling. I think, yeah, the artist on this was Nick Dragotta, who also does Outcast, I think. With Robert Kirkman. Maybe I'm wrong at this second, but he's done some other things too. Or maybe it's, I'm probably wrong. Ignore me. Maybe it's the guy, I think it's the artist from East of West. Sorry. Just ignore that last second there. Anyway, this is a great read. I think Max Landis did a pretty awesome job with Superman American Alien, so I recommend picking up in a trade or hardcover if you guys see that. I was like, why not first issue for 50 cents? Here's a 50 center I didn't expect to see. Astro City #1, Volume 1 for Image, with that awesome Alex Ross cover. So I've never been a big reader of Astro City, even though I've wanted to be. I like, what little I've read of Kurt Busiek. And obviously, I think Alex Ross does the cover, so you can't go wrong there. So I was pretty surprised to find this. I think it's like a $10 or $20 book. So I think it's optioned for a movie, TV series. But it seems like I've heard that many times over the last decade or two. So we'll see. Next up, Daredevil 190, The Return of Elektra. So once again, another one I didn't expect to see. Basically, the way they have like their normal bins inside that half-price books, and unfortunately I didn't turn my head soon enough to realize that there was also an additional table that who knows when they threw that there during the day. Like I said, unfortunately I had to be at work until about 4:30. So, from 9 to 4, I'm just, I like to consider like I'm lucky to get the books I get there, or and just in general, but it's always in the back of my head. It's like, what did I miss out on? And I'll get back to that point in a second too, but I thought that was pretty cool. Some Frank Miller Daredevil. Usually if it's Daredevil before 200, 50 cents, I'll pick it up. Next up, I already have a copy of this I got from the Amazing Murphinator at a Legends auction, but Punisher Warzone #1. Love that 90s diecast cover. And you know what? It's going in the grand prize for the contest since I have two. So, fair, I pick one up for 50 cents, throw it in the contest. So, there we go. Thought this was a cool Bob Layton cover. Hercules Prince of Power #1. Never really heard of this series. But I was like, yeah, it looks kind of neat. And it was a #1 for 50 cents. So, well, yeah, why not? Now, here's another one I didn't expect to find. And like I said, remember my previous thought there for a second. Iron Man 170, the first time Jim Rhodes is in a Iron Man type suit, I guess. So I was pretty blown away to find this one. But this was also part of a little bit of a run that was in there. And guess which one was missing? The one that says War Machine and has War Machine in the shadow. Of course that was missing. Why wouldn't it be? So I just really wonder if I went during my lunch break instead of wait till after, if I could have got the first War Machine for 50 cents. But oh well, I got, like I said, you saw the stack already. I'm lucky I got what I got. So I'm just going to be thankful for that. Next up, Secret Wars 2, #1. Who is the Beyonder, indeed? So I usually, if it's a Secret Wars, I can't pass it up for 50 cents. So why not get Secret Wars 2 #1? Next up, DuckTales #1. I think this is from probably 91 if I remember correctly. So DuckTales #1 in comic form. Who doesn't love some DuckTales? And then I think Metarog was talking about these trade dresses on a previous video about how some people collect these, the 50th anniversary DC. So when I saw this, I thought of you, Metarog. Superboy #50 teams up with the Legion of Superheroes, of course. So I thought that was kind of weird finding one of these right after I watched that video. So pretty cool there. And then I've always wanted to start collecting these DC Superstars books. So I found DC Superstars #3 starring Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So obviously I want to get more of these DC Superstars books. Not the greatest copy. I actually changed my mind, went back and grabbed this. Like, why not get it? You know, for 50 cents, why not? Actually, I guess I got it for cover price. So sweet. All right. So the last little haul, this is all X-Men. So, and actually I think besides the first book, every one of these books is an annual. So I thought that was kind of neat to find an annual run. I wish I would have had more X-Men from this area, as you'll see coming up, but I'll take the annuals. So first off, I got the X-Men Special Edition #1. I think this is more or less a reprint, or most of a reprint of Giant Size X-Men with 12 new pages by Claremont and Dave Cockrum. Never heard of this book before. I found it in the 50-cent bin, but I was doing a little bit of research before I recorded. So, pretty neat. So on to the annuals. So I got a king-size X-Men annual #6. I guess this is one of their first encounters with Dracula and vampires, so kind of interesting there. X-Men annual #7. And for some reason, I was just excited by one of the books I found, so I ended up picking up 2 copies of X-Men Annual #8. I got the newsstand and the regular, and like I said, I don't really need 2, so there we go, contest. I guess that's 25 bucks for the grand prize winner now, so we'll see. Next up, awesome Art Adams cover on issue 9 of the X-Men Annual. I guess in this one, Storm becomes Thor, basically, so I didn't even know this existed. I thought that was really awesome. So, next up, another great Arthur Adams cover, X-Men Annual #10. I think this is the first X-Babies, and I guess also the first Longshot, or at least Longshot joins the team in this, so who doesn't love some Longshot? I guess he was on my side as I was finding all this stuff and giving me good luck. So, thank you, Longshot. So, there you go, X-Babies. I'm going to skip this one first. So I don't know. I'm going to skip that one for a second. Got X-Men Annual #12. I guess Arthur Adams did a lot of these annual covers. I didn't realize that. So, there's #12. And then the last one is #14. The cameo of Gambit for 50 cents. You can't beat that. So, like I said, I think Longshot was on my side once I found that first X-Babies. So, can't wait to actually flip through this, and maybe next video I'll have a rant on if this should be Gambit's first appearance or not, because I've never read it. I've never owned it since I couldn't find it for 50 cents or less. And there you go. Basically the first Gambit for 50 cents. Awesome. So, all right. So that is the half-price books haul. So I kind of don't want to tell anyone where it is, so I keep getting deals like this. But yeah, I love my half-price books around here. It's just like they get stuff in bulk and just sell it for $1, so you can't beat that. So to conclude, for the video of the day, thank you guys once again for signing up for the contest. I believe I'm at 148 subscribers, so I guess even throwing that second prize in didn't even matter. I'm hoping to hit 2 by the end of the day. So I guess if you're watching and not subscribed, maybe you can be my 150th subscriber. So once again, I just wanted to show off the people who have entered. So I'm actually at 18. I had to make a second page. So once again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me when you guys make these videos. Puts a smile on my face every video, every time. So there's sheet 1. And then here's #2 now. We've actually gone onto a second backing board. So thank you guys so much. I did just want to say one more time, if you guys are watching this video the day it comes out, you can still enter the contest. Like I said, basically runs through the entire rest of the day and the evening up until midnight. And honestly, I'll be honest, if I wake up in the morning and there's a contest entry sent in my mailbox, I'm probably just going to allow it. I mean, that's just the way I roll, I guess. So get your contest entries in now, I suppose. And I'm approaching 15 minutes. I stayed under 15 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching. And happy Free Comic Book Day again. And have a good night.